7 new finishers Mortal Kombat could add. Failtality. Imagine a scorpion that accidentally goes nuclear and explodes, or summons way too many demons that then drag him to hell, a Sub-Zero that trips on his own ice and breaks his neck, a reptile that gets the sudden urge to sneeze right before striking the killing blow and snots his entire lower half off, a Melina that's so berserk she bites her own freaking arm off without realizing it, a Baraka that pounces blades first at the victim and misses, his blades hitting the ground and going through the back of his arms into his torso and or skull, a Raiden that short circuits, a Shao Kahn that throws his hammer up instead of forward and it lands on his head and splashes it to bits. You can make like hundreds of these, and it would be a cool bit of sportsmanship, Mortal Kombat's equivalent to a pro athlete extending his hand to shake the losers, a nice way for players to remind each other that it's just a game, don't take it too seriously. The win still registers as yours, so you're free to just have some self-deprecating lols. Of course, the other way you could implement it is by it being a sort of counter input that you input to sabotage your opponent's fatality. Say your opponent chooses to do Fatality 1, because you usually get 2 fatalities per game and he chooses the first one. You guess correctly that he's going for the first one and do the corresponding counter command, and as a result, instead of getting his fatality, he gets the Failtality. This kinda makes people second guess using fatalities and opt for brutalities or just a quick punch to end it, which could be a good or bad thing depending on where you stand. But either way, I think I prefer the first implementation whereby it's something that the victor does just for the lols. I think we need more stuff like that. And yes, it should be skippable. Mega shout out to longtime viewer, subscriber, and channel member Lord Trigon, you fucking legend, as Failtalities are his idea, so credit to him. I just riffed on it and gave some examples. Dance off or dance-tality.
Dance off, bro!
Imagine how funny it would be if Scorpion started doing a sick, swaggy dance while Rain is wobbling in finish him mode, then looks at Scorps and eventually shrugs and joins in and they do some tandem dancing. Or seeing Sindel grab the victim and do a waltz with them, passionately humming like a granny as she does it, then flying and waltzing in the air with them, all the while the victim just being like, kill me now. And she either slams him into the ground at the end or bitch slaps him and he twirls and falls. Could be fatal, could be non-fatal. I guess fatal would add some anticipation because you want to see how the victim meets their end, how the stupid dance transitions into carnage. On the other hand, non-fatal would again be a more wholesome show of sportsmanship and not taking things too seriously. Swagtality. Remove certain gravity constraints and allow the victor to do one final, well-rehearsed ultra combo with like 40 to 80 hits as a kind of victory lap or final performance at the Olympics, which is nice because it really is like a performance, and combos themselves are fundamentally a performance. It adds a bit of trepidation for the victor and anticipation for both victor and loser, a fair bit of curiosity to see what kind of swag the person cooked up. It would sing of the brutalities of old back from MK Trilogy where you had to learn one big ass combo and perform it in one go perfectly, otherwise the effect doesn't come out. Could end in the same way here, I guess, with a big gory explosion, but it's more about the swag and the creativity. I think this is what the Armageddon custom fatality thing tried to be, a custom coup de grace that showcases your personality in a unique way. Also, these things can get pretty long, so this should probably require a quick okay from the loser, like, hey, you want to see my big ultra combo? Yes, no, eat cancer and die. Roastality. Instead of recording all those intros which are becoming less and less inspired each time, why not save that time and budget for roastalities at the end? This sounds like a joke, and it is, but it would work regardless. Mortal Kombat has done dumber things in the past. Surely the curiosity to get to the end and win, or lose, a fight just to see what kind of rancid, ill-spawned mama's joke comes out of the victor's mouth is enough reason for players to want to see it. You could even take it a step further, break the fourth wall and roast the player too, kinda like I do here, yes, very good. And then a big arcade machine plops down on them or something, splatting them to bits so you still get that visual payoff. Roadkill. This is a really stupid one where the victor disappears for a second and reappears in a vehicle and runs the victim over. The running over animation can be the same every time to save resources. In fact, that somehow makes it even funnier. Very quick, snappy, and the main draw is to see what kind of ride everyone sports. Lambo for Johnny, muscle car for Scorpy, tricycle for Havoc,
It'll hurt more.
monster truck for Goro, school bus, replete with screaming children for Baraicho, big ass freight truck for Shao Kahn, Kawasaki for Kitana, John Deere for Jax, you get the idea. If you're more ambitious and want to invest more resources into this, then yeah, each roadkill can have its own unique animation and speed bumps, haha. As in challenges, how do you actually kill the opponent with a tricycle as opposed to a smart? Carmageddon vibes for days. Also, having this and not having motor combat in the same game is a crime against common sense, so I guess you need to do that too. Minigame. Either the winner or the loser could double or nothing challenge the other party to take this out of the ring and settle it in the game's minigame, which could be puzzle combat, could be chess combat, or whatever else you want to crop up. Get down to the comments and write your own minigame ideas.
Get down! Get down!
Not a finisher, but I don't want to make a full video on this, so I'll just put it here. If you made an anime skin for the entire game, not only would people buy that shit like it's the cure for cancer, it would help to bridge the gap between the MK community and the non-MK community. The people that prefer the anime style of other fighting games, the people that aren't into the whole mature gore blood thing, the people that are otherwise kept away from MK because it doesn't glow. It's not light enough, not playful enough. Everything is super in your face Western gritty realism design philosophy. Actually, on second thought, you shouldn't do this because it'd work too well and it would destroy Mortal Kombat's identity. Never mind. Guestality. Oh, I'm sorry, we can't have Jin Kazama as a guest fighter in Mortal Kombat because our data says that having another character rip his spine out would be a bad PR move. Crazy, I know. But how about we lend him to you just for the finish him part, whereby you can input a command, have him appear, and finish the opponent off in your character's stead. Would that suit your majesty's eccentric tastes? Basically cameo fatalities with guests. That way all guests get to kill someone and all guests get to not be killed, because it's always going to be the main Mortal Kombat roster that gets kinder surprised. So really, at that point, the only people unwilling to lend their characters would be the off-brand people, the ones that go, we're a little concerned that the image of Mai Shiranui crushing someone's head to mush with her thighs is a little too off-brand for her. To which I'd personally say, 1, you clearly don't know gamers very well. 2, on-brand or not, a murderous busty chick dressed in a Christmas ribbon would sell more as DLC in Mortal Kombat than the whole of King of Fighters would in a year. And 3, you know what? You're right. Crushing someone with her thighs would be inappropriate. Using her damn melons would be much more on-brand. I think that would dramatically widen the guest pool, and as a bonus, this way you also don't drown out the game with too many fully playable guest characters that would nick one too many parking spots from the roster. Better yet, make them full-on cameos. Not that MK12 has any more left in its life cycle, and not that you're ever gonna see these finicky cameos in the series again, but just as a thought experiment. Imagine seeing Ken, Ryu, Chun-Li, Yuri Han, Jin Kazama, King, Akuma, Bayonetta, Dante, Virgil, Nero, Prince of Persia, Mario, Mr. Muscle, the Michelin Man, Todd Howard, your French teacher. I mean, to play devil's advocate, I myself don't want to see Dante getting impaled to death into a wall unless I know he's faking it dramatically only so he could say, "Getting better," like the snarky albino Tom Cruise that he is. And the last idea I have is to ask the internet. Thank you, you can go write shit of your own now. The comment section's right through that window. Don't touch anything on your way out. Or down, rather. Special shout out to Longthorn and Serhi Hrishin for supporting the channel.